Council is remembering Colin Powell. They held a moment of silence tonight and said this.
He was a leader amongst leaders, a friend of my family, and we are so sorry and devastated by his loss.
A virtual meeting on that. Before he was the first African-American Secretary of State, General Powell once lived in Atlanta. Channel 2's Matt Johnson live now at the former Fort McPherson in southwest Atlanta, where Powell served, actually. And Matt, people have been hearing about his passing all day. We know that, but we're going deeper tonight on his life because, look, he had a connection to Georgia.
Yeah, George, 30 years ago, Tyler Perry Studios here was Fort McPherson, and Colin Powell was here as a commander-in-chief before going on to be even more of a military icon. Tonight, there are a lot of local veterans who had a chance to hear him speak in person and meet him and say he had all the makings of an American hero.
Lost a great American hero.
Before his death Monday, Colin Powell inspired generations of Americans who served in the military, including State Representative Derrick Jackson.
He was the true epitome of what military leadership, or a leader just in general, understanding duty, honor, and country.
Jackson spoke not as a lawmaker, but as a former naval officer who says Powell visited his warship in 1996 to speak to officers with the U.S. Navy.
He would tell all officers to never compromise on your principles, never compromise on your values, and always lead with a steady hand.
The 84-year-old Powell's family said he died due to COVID-19 complications. His family says he was fully vaccinated, but also immunocompromised.
His commitment was to the country. He was very pleased and honored to be an American. So he felt that his first duty was to the country.
Powell served as Commander-in-Chief of the Army Forces Command at Fort McPherson in Atlanta in the late 80s. He was also stationed at Fort Benning early in his Army career and spoke often about overcoming discrimination.
The post might be integrated as Fort Benning was, but not the community around Fort Benning. And I was in the first group of black officers who entered the Army after segregation really ended.
He would go on to become the first black Joint Chiefs of Staff and first black Secretary of State. In 2003, he made the case to the United Nations that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. 2 years later, Powell said he regretted the presentation.
The fact that Colin Powell gave a speech which proved to be incorrect was certainly not because he was trying to deceive anyone. He was relying on the best available information.
Powell's loss is being felt across the country, and especially by those who were molded by his legacy.
He made some tough decisions. And that taught us all in terms of him being our role model